When Molly was a murderer was she. She went this way and that way and this way. When Molly was an angel was she. Went this way and that way and this way. That's the way. When Molly was an angel was she. When Molly was a when Molly was a devil was she. She went this way and that's the way and this way and that's the way.
No.
I've been all up and down the street looking for her. No one's seen her. I thought sure she'd be with Denise.
Well, she was until an hour ago. They were playing together.
In all this rain?
Oh, well, they stopped when it started raining.
Where'd she go?
Well, Denise said they all ran home. She thought Lucille was with her, but well, apparently she stayed behind.
In all this rain?
Yeah. Of course, she might have.
What?
I'm going down to the police station.
Jack, what's wrong? What did Denise say?
Oh, nothing. It's just that...
Jack, tell me.
Well, it's probably nothing to it.
Tell me.
Denise said something about a man.
Oh, no.
We're only talking to her, apparently.
Well, I mean, I've told her. Time and again, I've told her.
There's probably nothing to it. I mean, she'd have more sense than to go off with someone, wouldn't she?
Well, I've told her. Over and over.
Of course, yeah. Look, 10 to 1, she's just gone in out of the rain, that's all. Still, I better go down.
Mr. Norton's here, sir.
All right. Bring him in.
Come in.
Here, Mr. Norton. Sit down, will you?
Thanks.
Well?
I was telling them downstairs.
The station sergeant phoned me.
About my daughter.
Yes?
Well, she didn't come home, you see.
Yes. If you wouldn't mind describing her.
Well, she's about, she's 10 years old. Fair. Not very big for her age, really. Pretty. Even though I say so myself. Very pretty.
What's she wearing?
What?
Her clothes.
Well, just a dress, I mean. That's why we thought, you know, in this downpour. Well, sort of spotted, green with white spots. Black shoes, school shoes.
Mr. Norton, a young girl was found early this evening. We didn't know who she was. She wasn't carrying a handbag, school books.
Found? How do you mean, found?
She was dead.
Dead?
Yes, I'm sorry. Her appearance and clothing fit the description you've just given us.
Lucille?
Well,
Where is she?
at the mortuary.
Lucille? Dead?
Frank.
Yeah, but you can't be sure, can you? I mean, it might not be Lucille at all.
I've sent for a pathologist. I'm meeting him in the mortuary. I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to come with me.
Here. Now.
Drink it.
This girl. And what happened to her?
We don't know yet.
It can't be Lucille. It can't be.
Come on, Simon.
There was a man talking to her.
How do you know that?
Well, I went around her friends. One of the girls told me. He gave her something. Lucille.
Found some chocolate nearby. If you talk to her friends, you know where the girls are playing then?
There's somewhere near Nelson Street. Why, is that where?
You better come along, sir. Is it Lucille? All right, Simon. I'm sorry. I have to ask you to make a short statement.
You come this way, Mr. Norton.
Frank,
Just a minute, sir. Yes.
the man who was with her. Start looking for him, just in case.
Right.
Her name is Lucille Norton. She's been identified by the father.
I see.
Excuse me. I thought you'd gone to the mortuary.
There was somebody at the door. He wants to see you.
Now?
He said it was important.
All right.
Mr. Norton, Doctor.
Good evening, Mr. Norton. Have I seen you before?
No, not me. My wife and kids, they come to you.
Ah, yes. I see. All right, Sandra. Good night.
Good night, Doctor.
Now, is it about Mrs. Norton or one of the children?
Doctor, my eldest daughter, Lucille, was killed tonight.
Killed?
Yeah.
Mr. Norton, I'm terribly sorry.
Thank you.
I remember Lucille very well. Beautiful child. Well, how did it happen? Was she involved in an accident?
No, it was a man. They don't know who yet.
I see.
She didn't come home. I got worried. I went to the police, and they'd found her. I just come back from a mortuary. I had to look at her. I mean, tell them that it was her.
Yes, yes.
Well, I haven't been home, you see. I mean, my wife, she's worried, but... I mean, I don't know how she's going to take this. Lucille's been dead, killed. Well, I'm telling you, Doctor, I don't know what to say. I mean, something like this, it's enough to drive it out of my mind. So I wondered if you...
You'd like me to come with you?
if you would. If you wouldn't mind.
Lacerated wound of stellate shape in right parietal region. Wound communicating inner skull. Damage to parietal lobe.
What do you think caused the wound?
Whatever it was, great violence was used. Cause of death, comminuted, depressed fracture of the skull.
What sort of weapon?
Can't tell you that.
I'm not asking for answers, I'm asking for guesses.
Well, the aperture in her skull is about an inch across. It's of a very peculiar shape.
Meaning?
The weapon that caused it would have been of similar shape.
What shape?
Roughly hexagonal.
Like what? A hammer? Kind with a hexagonal head?
Possibly.
Right. I want to know what I'm looking for, apart from the man.
Oh, she was not sexually assaulted.
Interfered with. Her dress is torn.
Hardly. Only at the seam. I can't say whether it was a result of violence or simply because the stitching had come undone.
There'd been no attempt, had she struggled?
There were no scraps under the nails. There were abrasions on the face, the hands, and on the knees. If she'd been resisting an assault, I would have expected bruising. There is none.
It could have been a sadistic killing. Unless he thought she was going to scream, panic, and lashed out.
But what?
He said it might have been a hammer. All sorts of people use hammers.
That's it? Good. take her upstairs and put her to bed.
Doctor, that stuff, it will make her sleep.
Very soon, yes.
Come on now. Come on. Doctor, would you hang on a bit?
Yes, all right, Mr. Norton, I'll wait.
Got men out talking to the other kids.
Tall, dark stranger, eh?
That's about all we've got to go on so far. Any point in your having another go at the kids' clothing? I don't know what there is to look for.
I'm having it sent round to the lab. I'll examine it there.
Good.
Well, I want to go back to the mortuary. I took a photograph of the aperture in the girl's skull.
Right.
Sir? One of the girls, Denise Yates.
Something useful?
Yes. Come here.
Hello, Denise.
Hello.
Here, you sit down there, will you? Oh, now. You know why I want to talk to you?
Yes,
Denise, I want you to tell this gentleman what you just told me.
I'd seen him before.
Who?
The man.
What man?
The one who was talking to Lucille.
Do you know his name?
No,
Never mind. Where was it you saw him?
the park.
And when?
The holidays.
And when was that? What time of day?
Afternoon.
What time?
I forget.
What I want to know is, was it light or was it dark?
It was light.
Did he give you anything?
Some chocolate.
This is very important. I want you to think very carefully before you answer. Are you quite sure it was the same man?
Yes.
It wasn't just someone who looked like him.
No, it was him.
It was daylight when you were in the park. Tonight it was dark.
He had the box.
A box?
Yes,
What sort of box?
the one he showed me.
Well, why did he show it to you?
He was telling me about what was inside.
What was inside?
Tools.
What sort of tools?
Like in my brother's carpentry set. Only bigger.
You talked to him?
Yes,
How long?
not long. My friends came, and then he went.
What did he tell you?
About what he did.
What was that?
Made things, mended things, and how people phoned him up, and he went to their houses.
Right, Frank. Carpenters working on their own account. There can't be that many of them.
Has he done something?
Well, we'd like to talk to him. He may have seen what happened.
Is Lucille really dead?
Yes, I'm afraid she is.
Must be strong stuff. She's nearly asleep already. Can I get you a cup of tea, Doctor? There's no trouble. I'm only too glad if you've got the time.
Yes, thank you. I would like some.
Still can't take it in. And even though I saw her, it's as if it wasn't her. Really. If you know what I mean.
Yes, I think I do.
That she should be snuffed out. Just like that. That's impossible. I should be the one to die, if anyone. If only it could be me, instead of her.
Mr. Norton, just at the moment, there's very little that I can do to help. Words, what other people say, doesn't help. All I can say is that in time, you will be able to think about her without quite so much pain.
Yeah, I suppose so. Because whether Viva, my wife, well, I don't know. It's wonderful the way she keeps his house going, yeah.
You have 3 other children, haven't you?
All little. All girls. Well, at least one of them started school. She makes all their clothes, you know. The kids. And her own. Well, I got no regular trade, you see. Always a bit of a struggle with money. Well, I mean, I muck in, you know, I do odd jobs around the house, do what I can, but it's Vera, really. She's the one that keeps us going. To think that yesterday this hadn't happened. A few hours ago, even.
Is there anybody who could come in and help your wife for a few days? Just something to be with her. A relative, perhaps?
Well, no, not nearby, there isn't, no.
I could possibly arrange for a home help from the local authority.
Oh, no, she wouldn't like that. Not a stranger. No, I'll send a wire to Vera's sister. She'll have to come.
Someone?
Doctor, you've given her something to sleep. But she can't sleep forever.
No. I'll come in and see her again tomorrow morning.
They should never have done away with hanging.
What?
Him. The one that killed her.
Oh, yes.
We think you may be able to help us with some inquiries.
What about?
Tried the house, couldn't make anyone here. What's this, sir? Workshop?
Yes.
Working all the time, do you?
Not all the time.
What about yesterday afternoon? Did you go out then?
Would you mind telling me why you're asking?
Checking something, Mr. Trimmer. Did you go out?
Yes.
Where?
It's in Brookside Road. They're having central heating put in. I went along to lift the floorboards.
You take your tools with you?
Yes.
That box?
Yes.
How did you travel?
How do you mean?
What, did you use a van or...
Oh, I don't bother unless I'm carting materials around. I caught the bus.
Did you come home by bus?
Yeah.
Where'd you get off?
Stop before Nelson Street.
Wouldn't 2 stops further on be nearer?
No.
Why not?
There's a shortcut.
Where?
Across the waste ground.
Where the girls were playing.
But what's this all about?
Did you see the girls playing?
Yes.
We'd better have your statement, Mr. Trimmer. Be best if you came down to the police station.
Why?
You don't know?
No.
One of those girls you saw playing was found dead.
What?
Dead?
Well, what happened to her?
Well, that's what we're trying to find out. There's a car outside.
Well, look, I can't go like this.
You want to change?
Yes.
Right, I'll come with you.
What are you looking for?
Anything. For instance, tiny smear of chocolate. You remember, we found traces of chocolate in her right hand. So presumably she'd been eating chocolate and then unconsciously wiped her fingers on her dress.
What does that show?
Sandra, you will find that we amass a great deal of information, some of it which may be relevant, and on the other hand, some of it may be totally irrelevant.
How do you know which is which?
No, we don't always. At least not at first. It may come later. Chocolate now might indicate that there was a lapse of time between her being given it and when she died.
I see.
Now, whether that will prove to be of any importance, I cannot tell you.
She wasn't very big, was she?
No, quite small for her age.
Don't you mind having to go to the mortuary carrying out post-mortems?
Part of the job. Stick on soles and heels.
Sorry?
Note it down. Now, one of them's come partially unstuck. We'll put that on. Applied insufficient pressure.
Is it still part of the job when it's a child?
Child has died. Death must be accounted for. Though sometimes certain aspects of it can be distressing.
Are you married, Mr. Trimmer?
No.
Live alone?
Yes.
Ever been married?
No.
Do you have anyone come in, do the cleaning, for instance?
I do it myself.
All of it?
Yes.
Cook for yourself, too?
Yes.
What are you, skilled carpenter?
Yes.
You can choose your own job, couldn't you?
I prefer to be in business on my own.
Don't employ anyone?
No, I tried that. It wasn't satisfactory.
Why not?
I don't see what all this has to do with last night's accident.
Who said it was an accident?
But just what are you saying?
We don't know how the girl met her death. Why wasn't it satisfactory when you employed someone?
We didn't get on.
Go on.
That's all there is to say.
You live alone, you work alone. You don't have much to say for yourself, do you?
Not a lot, no.
You talk to small girls, though, don't you? Don't you?
I didn't say I never
Small
spoke to
girl.
anyone. You make it sound...
You're not.
Sometimes.
You have objection if we search your premises?
Yes, I have.
Why?
Well, I've done nothing wrong. I refuse to be treated as a criminal.
You refuse?
Yes.
Right, Mr. Truman, now listen to me. I'm investigating what looks like a very nasty murder case. And whether you like it or not, I'm going to search your premises by force if necessary.
Well, I protest. You've no right.
If you want to seek redress, you can take action against me for trespass. And good luck. My Frank, start in the workshop.
Right.
And I'll phone Hardy and get him to come over, too.
Hold on, please. It's Inspector Fleming.
Ask him what he wants.
What do you want? Yes. No, I mean, Dr. Hardy's rather busy at the moment. Can I take a message? I see. Hold on. He says I can't.
Yeah, not surprised. I did rather expect you to paraphrase my request. Yes, Inspector, and what can I do for you?
What do you think he is, Doctor? Your bodyguard? Yeah. Yes, all right. But we found the man we're looking for. He's got a workshop at the back of his house. Ash is there. Do you think you can go over and have a look round? Good, I'll give you the address.
Yes, all right, I'll go. I'll let you know. Secondly, you'd better come along, too. I want those photographs.
The ones with the hole in her skull?
Yes, and what we're looking for now is something that fits into that hole.
How did she die?
A blow to the head that smashed her skull.
Oh, dreadful. Dreadful.
Her name was Lucille Norton. Did you know her?
No, of course not.
You did stop and talk to one of the girls last night, didn't you?
Briefly.
Can you describe her?
Fairish, but pretty, I think.
You think?
It was dark.
What was she wearing?
A dress. I remember afterwards.
After what?
On my way home, I remember thinking she'd get soaked.
What sort of dress?
Spotted dress.
That's the girl who was found dead.
And you think that
I'm not thinking anything, Mr. Trimmer. But you were there. And they would have been the last person to see her alive. So you better tell me exactly what happened.
It's in the box. A claw hammer. He said he'd been using it to lift floorboards. Well, that looks as though it could be it. It's the right shape, near enough.
Near enough is not good enough.
You know what I mean.
Now, I just have to compare this with the girl's skull.
Well, it looks as though it could have caused that wound to me.
The external wound is not the point in question. That is lacerated and torn. It's the aperture in the skull that is of a regular shape.
Like that hammer.
Well, if it was this weapon, I expected to have blood and hairs attached to it.
Unless he washed it off afterwards.
There's no signs of any blood in the box.
Perhaps he put it in his pocket.
Well, then, in that case...
We'll have his clothes delivered to you.
Sandra, you get the plastic bag out of my case. Now, you just hold it.
Yeah.
Underneath there while I get the trap off. You got it?
Just in case he washed it off here?
Yes, yes. Whatever we may... Well, you got it?
Yes.
All right. All right, let's have it. Get this along to the laboratory for examination. Oh-ho. Now, there is some hair.
They're not fair, they're dark.
So you stopped, talked to Lucille, then you walked on.
Yes.
When you left, she was...
She was all right, I swear it.
What was she doing?
Doing?
Was she eating chocolate?
Well, I don't know.
Didn't you give her some chocolate?
Why?
You say you didn't know this girl, you stopped. You talked to her, you gave her chocolate. Are you in the habit of talking to little girls you don't know?
No.
Well, that's funny. The girl called Denise Yates says you approached her in the park not long ago.
Mrs. Norton,
I'm all
I
right.
think...
Thanks for coming last night, but I'm all right.
Your husband says that your sister could come for a few days.
I don't want her to come. I don't want anyone here, not anyone.
Well, it would be best, really.
Who for?
You?
It's happened, that's bad enough. Do you think I want people looking at me, trying to tell me how sorry they are?
Well, they'd only want to help.
They can't.
Mrs. Norton, I think I know how you feel.
No, you don't. With all respect, Doctor, you don't. You can't.
No. You're right, I'm sorry.
Look, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to hear about it. I just want to be left alone.
And what about your husband?
It's not the same for a man.
Lucille was his daughter, too. He doesn't find it easy to bear. He needs your help.
Well, he'll have to do without it, because I've none to give. It was him sent her out to play, so he could watch television in peace.
Hello, Jack.
Oh, Bill.
Sorry to hear about, you know,
Yeah.
we were just brewing up. Do you fancy a mug?
No, thanks. No. It's just that, well, the doctor's with the wife. Just wanted me out of the way, you know.
Sure. All the lads, well, we were saying, isn't it safe to let your kids out the house?
No.
Still, at least they've got him.
What?
Haven't you heard? I thought they'd have been on to you right away.
Who was it?
A bloke called Trimmer, a carpenter. The coppers took him away this morning. There's still a few of them down there, so I hear. You know, rooting about his workshop. Listen, they've got him, didn't you hear?
Yeah. And what are they going to do to him?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, yes, you do. Nothing. A few years in prison. Well-fed, looked after. People worried whether he's been ill-treated. For killing my girl. Nothing. Nothing.
Has Trimmer been arrested?
No.
Has he given you permission to search his rooms?
No.
Sergeant, I think I'm right in saying that it is one of the curiosities of our legal system that you cannot get a search warrant for evidence in a murder case.
That's quite right, sir.
You've no right to be here.
None whatsoever. The boss has stuck his neck out.
I wish Inspector Fleming had made that clear, because I have no right to be here either.
I think those are worth finding, sir, aren't you?
Where did you find them?
In his bedroom, hidden away. Makes it more than a bit twisted, doesn't it?
Men who collect that sort of material are usually somewhat disturbed, yes.
Did you find anything else in his workshop?
No.
Oh, once we can be sure about the hammer, if that matches up. Well, well, here's something else. Can you read that signature, Doctor?
Yes, I know him.
Think you can find out what the appointment was for?
I imagine so.
I wish you would, sir. The governor will want to know about it double quick.
Am I free to go?
I'd rather you didn't, Mr. Trimmer.
I've told you all I can.
Wouldn't be much help there, have you, Mr. Trimmer?
I've told you again and again. What more can I say?
As far as we know, you're the last person to see Lucille Norton alive. Now, that makes you very important, Mr. Trimmer. If you go on talking, perhaps you'll remember something else. Something that might help us.
What are you trying to make me say? That I killed her?
Did you?
No, I just talked to her, that's all.
You sure?
Well, why don't you believe me?
I said I don't.
Oh, Manor says you don't. Now, why? What possible grounds have you got?
You were there. You talked to her. No one saw her alive again. She was killed with a violent blow, possibly from a hammer or similar instrument. Do you deny you were carrying tools at the time?
No, I told you I was.
I also wonder why you refused to give us permission to search your premises.
Look, suppose someone comes to you, says they want to pry into your personal belongings for no reason,
We did have a reason, Mr. Trimmer.
I'd every right to refuse.
Certainly. On the other hand, my experience is that people usually refuse when they've got something to hide.
Dr. Hardy, this is.
All right. Mr. Trimmer, Dr. Hardy, the pathologist on the case.
Thank you. Mr. Trimmer, in a desk was found a letter making an appointment. Outpatients to Bath Hospital. Yes, Inspector Fleming was telephoned. He does know. Now, just let me make clear that I've been in touch with Dr. Lombard. I've told him about the position and he's given me certain details. And I would like to clear the background. Do you understand?
Yes.
Do please sit down. You've been an outpatient for mental illness for a considerable time.
Yes.
Have you ever been an inpatient?
No. They said it wasn't necessary.
Quite.
I've been getting better. I have.
Your original symptoms were loss of appetite, loss of weight, state of anxiety, deep depression.
Well then, yes.
Yes, including an attempted suicide, which did bring your case to the notice of your doctor for treatment.
Yes.
You're a lonely man. You felt at odds with the world.
Yes.
Do you still feel at odds with the world?
Is that what Lombard says?
I'm asking you.
Well, not so much.
But you do.
Mostly, yes.
Despite extended treatment.
Doctor, I know I'm not normal. Getting to live with it, that's the point, isn't it?
In what way are you not normal?
I'm sure it's all written down.
I'd much rather hear it from you. If you lead a solitary life, you live alone, you work alone, and apparently you have no friends. Is that in preference?
Yes.
Why?
People don't like me.
Now, why do you feel that?
Well, I just can't talk. And people talk. They talk all the time. I listen. I can't seem to join in. You know, when I was a little boy, I used to think I was invisible. No one ever took any notice of me. No one. So I do my work. I'm a craftsman. That's enough.
You would like to have friends.
I manage.
Women friends?
Women? In all my life, no woman's ever looked at me. Not as if I were a man like other men. But then I'm not, am I?
Is that why you go out of your way to talk to little girls? You told Dr. Lombard?
No.
But you do, don't you?
I like children. That's all.
Is it? Are you sure?
Inspector Fleming, please. You find it hard to talk to adults. But you can talk to children. Is that it?
Well, children... they don't look at me as if I was different. I mean, they just accept that I'm there, that I'm someone. And they listen. They tell me things. Sometimes I can even make them laugh. That's all. But as for harming one of them, no, never.
Dr. Lombard spoke of certain fantasies. Lapses of memory over short periods when you couldn't remember what you'd done.
Hey, but not lately, Doctor. I'll tell you, I'm better.
Altogether?
Yes.
The police sergeant who searched your rooms found a considerable number of photographs and also books.
I swear, I haven't looked at them for months, I swear it.
Because of the improvement in your mental health,
Yes.
you felt you didn't need them anymore.
That's right.
And why didn't you destroy them? Why keep them?
I don't know.
Right.
Frank! Take Mr. Turner to the canteen, will you? Give him a meal. The doctor will need to examine the clothing you were wearing last night.
Oh, I've got it on.
I brought some clothes for you to change into.
I didn't kill that girl.
Come on.
Perhaps he doesn't remember killing her. How much better is he, according to the hospital?
Not as much as he thinks.
Erotic fantasies, memory lapses. Mentally ill, feels himself an outcast, a loner. Just the sort of nut that turns up in cases like this.
Dr. Longmore does not regard him as a psychopath, but as suffering from psychoneurosis.
What's the difference?
Oh, a very great deal. Psychoneurosis is a functional disorder, can be treated. He is not psychotic. There's no history of violence, except self-inflicted violence. Mental illness is an illness like any other and should be regarded in that light.
All right, Doctor, but let me ask you a question. Does it ever happen that a man receives treatment as an outpatient and it's later discovered it's more serious than they thought?
Trimmer is in very good hands. I very much doubt if any deterioration...
Never mind your doubts, Doctor. Does it ever happen?
It happens, of course.
Quite a crowd outside, sir, waiting for a sight of Trimmer.
Tell him to clear off.
I was going to, sir. I only thought you'd like to know.
Beats me how they find out. They always do, though.
Well, what's the position regarding Trimmer?
For the moment, he's one of those men that spend several hours at the police station helping the police with their inquiries. You've read about them.
Come on, you're not missing anything.
Have you got him then, have you?
I'll have you if you don't move on.
It's all right, we're only looking.
Clear the pavement. Come on, you lot. What do you think it is, a peep show? Come on, move on. Go on. If you haven't got home to go someplace else. That includes you.
Yeah, hang on a minute. What does he look like, a fellow that would murder a little girl like that, eh? What does he look like?
It's good. What do you think?
If it's were the weapon, I would expect it to have made a cleaner wound.
It's the right shape. Bit smaller, perhaps, not much.
True.
Well, is that it or not?
I cannot say this is the weapon.
Couldn't say it was.
I find it hard to account for the splintering of the skull.
Doctor, can you say that that hammer did not cause the girl's death?
No.
Right.
But in my opinion, it did not.
Why not?
Because of the adjacent splintering of the skull.
Well, great force could have caused that.
It most certainly did, but it was not with this hammer.
What then?
I don't know. I would associate this wound with some kind of a turning movement.
Hey, Charlie, come here.
That's a right mess on that nut. It's horrible. What do you think it is?
What?
Yes, this nut could have caused the injury. Turning of the wheel would have accounted for the splintering of the skull. Of course, I shall have to ascertain that the blood group's the same.
Look, if it proves to be her hair that was on the nut, I'm satisfied.
I wasn't aware that there was a bus route along Nelson Street.
There isn't.
It was a special. We'd finished. We were on our way back to the garage and we were allowed to go down Nelson Street. It's quicker.
Well, that accounts for it.
Oh, no, it doesn't. I didn't run over any girl.
No one says you did.
There was no accident, I'm telling you. Isn't that right?
That's right. One of us would have known about it.
The bus was empty.
Sure it was, he told you.
And where were you riding?
Inside?
Sitting?
Yes, sir.
Facing which way?
Facing the side.
With your back to the pavement or to the road?
With my back to the pavement.
Then you would not have seen anything. Look, the little girl ran along, tripped, and fell into one of the near wheels of the bus and was killed instantly. There's no reason why you should have known anything about it. All right?
Oh, it's not all right. They'll have an inquest, won't they? I've got a clean sheet. Never had an accident in my life. And now you're trying to tell me that I could kill a girl without knowing about it. I'm not having
Get rid of these two, will you?
Here, I'm going to the union about this. I'm not saying any more to you till I get some representation. No, I'm going to the bank first to get somebody here to speak up for me. I can't have anything any more said about this.
Norton has a right to be told.
Yes, of course. I'll try to explain.
Might be better if he was shown.
Sure.
No, of course not, no. Look, I'll make a cast of the injury and bring him along to the lab at 3:30, will you?
In here, Mr. Norton. Dr. Hardy won't keep you a moment. Would you like to sit down?
No, thanks. What are her clothes doing here?
Oh, Dr. Hardy had to examine them.
I'm so sorry to keep you, Mr. Norton. My wife wanted a word with me. She asked me to say that she will come round this evening to see Mrs. Norton. Will you come over this way? Now, this is a nut off the wheel of a bus. And that bus turned off the main road into Nelson Street last night after it started to rain. This afternoon, a mechanic at the garage noticed that there was what appeared to be human hair and blood upon it. Now, I've compared the hairs with some from your daughter's head, and they are the same. And the blood group of the stains on the nut is the same as your daughter's blood group. Do you understand what I'm saying?
That nut's off a bus?
Yes, and it was that nut that caused the wound.
Well, how can it be? Someone killed her. Well, you told me that.
I said she died as a result of a blow to the head.
Then you fetched someone in, Trimmer.
In order to question him.
He killed her.
Look, observe the shape of this nut. Now, here is a replica of the wound that your daughter received.
Well, that's from her head, after she was dead.
Yes, I'm very sorry. I don't know how you feel. But look, there really is no doubt that this nut entered your daughter's head. That is how she died.
That makes sense. I mean, a wheel of a bus, that's right low down.
She must have tripped and fallen headlong.
Tripped? Yeah.
Well, I can't tell you exactly, but here is a possible explanation. See, her shoes have got stick-on soles and heels.
That's right. I put them on. Makes them last longer.
Quite so. But one of them has become unstuck. Now, it is possible that as she was running, the sole may have doubled over and caused her to trip just as the bus was passing.
You trying to tell me it was my fault?
Well, of course not. I'm only trying to explain how the accident might have happened.
Accident? Who said it was an accident? Now, you come up with all this theorizing? A lot of might be this, a lot of might be that.
We know it was an accident.
Well, you got the man that done it. When you got him, and you let him go. He's been after girls before. When you asked her an easy age, you asked her.
We have.
Well, I'll tell you something else I heard. He's sick. He goes for treatment. I mean, you check on it, you'll find out.
We know that, too.
You know he's off his head. You let him go. And you think because of something I did, she died? I suppose it's too easy for you that Trimmer's crazy and he killed her. No, you've got to be clever about it. Well, I don't believe a word of it. And I'll tell you something else. I think you're all round the bend as well.
Well, I didn't expect him to take it like that.
We need someone to blame. Joe tells me that it was he who sent his daughter out to play. Needs to pin the responsibility somewhere. He needs a trimmer.
I'll get after him, offer him a lift, try and make him see sense.
Do, thank you.
I suppose these things will be needed for the inquest.
Yes,
Perhaps it'll be all right after that.
perhaps. The men prefer to have a culprit to hand. suppose they're frightened of what they might find if they looked into their own hearts.
He's trying to make out it's an accident.
Jack.
Experts. They'd cook up anything. Well, I'm not having it.
Jack, I know you were trying to be kind to me this morning, and I'm sorry.
Are you listening? I'm trying to tell you something.
What?
Trimmer, they let him go. He's talked his way out of it.
What if it was an accident?
It wasn't.
All right, it wasn't. What does it matter?
Of course it matters.
Lucille's dead. I keep looking at the door, thinking she's going to walk in, same as usual. Even though I know she won't. But she never will again. I wish I was dead. I know that's not right. There's the other children and there's you.
He walked out, free as air. They know he's a menace, and they let him go.
Jack, I think we'd better go through her things to see what we ought to keep and what we ought to give
Now,
away.
you can do that.
I'd rather you help me.
What for? You can do it, can't you?
Yes, Jack. Yes, I can do it, if that's what you want.
You, get out. Go on!
Who are you? I don't know you.
Oh, but I know you all right. We all know who you are. And if you ever come down this street again, now clear off, back the way you came.